Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another video. Welcome to the Random Watch Do channel. I'm just here to talk randomly about watches, and today I'm going to do an update to my video that I did recently where I was talking about my first impressions of the new Patek Philippe Cubitus. Now, not discounting the fact that it has the silliest name that a watch has been given in a long time. They gave it a name that sounds like somebody who's got sore cubes and who needs to take some antibiotics to get it put right, notwithstanding the fact that Cubitus has to be one of the worst, most terrible names for a luxury watch that I've ever seen. Not discounting that, I also did suggest that the watch maybe was very, very large. Looking at the dimensions on paper, it was very, very large. And I also suggested that obviously it's very expensive and I can't afford it, so I'm talking as a pleb here. I'm talking as a minion and a pleb and somebody who can't afford this watch, which has been made very clear by the owner of Patek that this watch isn't designed for me anyway, so my opinion doesn't matter. However, I reserve the right to share my opinion, and I will. Now, I did share my opinion initially and said, look, this watch is not for me. Even if I could afford it, I wouldn't buy it because it's too big. Now, just recently, just this week, I went to my local authorised dealer, Partridge Jewellers here in Auckland, walked in. They happen to have the full range of Cubitus in stock, so it would be very, very irresponsible of me to not try this watch on, a watch that I could never afford and would never want to buy. It would be irresponsible of me, wouldn't it, as a pleb and a minion, not to try this watch on anyway, so I did. Okay, so just a quick wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Rolex Submariner 124060 and really enjoying this watch. This is another luxury watch, not quite at the levels of Patek Philippe. I could actually just afford to buy this watch. I couldn't afford to buy the Cubitus models that I tried on, but anyway, I wanted to share with you my views on this model now that I've tried it on, and just to keep this in perspective and give you some context. The old adage, don't knock it until you've tried it, really does apply to this watch. Now, when I first put the watch on, bearing in mind I was wearing my Panerai at the time, my Panerai Luminor, which is a 44mm big boy beefcake watch. Bearing in mind I was wearing that, my first impression when the Cubitus range was put down in front of me was, wow, it's nowhere near as big as I expected. It's actually, to be quite frank with you, I put the stainless model on first, and my initial reaction when I put the stainless model on was, it's small, it's not big at all. So despite the dimensions, and this is very common, isn't it, with watches, despite the dimensions, it didn't wear anywhere near as large as I had expected. The other thing that I noticed straight away about the stainless Cubitus was that it had a really nice bracelet. It's a very, very nice stainless bracelet. It's very supple. You'd expect that, of course, for a watch in this kind of price range, but a very, very supple bracelet. The only thing I didn't like about the bracelet, and this is probably just my personal taste, is I'm not a fan of the butterfly deployant clasps on any bracelet. I just don't like them. I prefer the fold over clasp, and the butterfly clasps always feel a little bit flimsy and a little bit cheap to me, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't rate this one much. However, I do think that stainless Cubitus, and I will have put some pictures up here by now already, I don't think it's a bad looking watch, if I'm honest with you. So the second watch I tried on is the Platinum. Now, the Platinum is something else. The first thing that hit me immediately when I put the Platinum on was, and of course it's going to hit me straight away, is the sheer weight of it. Platinum is even denser than gold. This thing is heavy. You know, when you put this on your wrist, you know you are wearing an expensive watch. And this is the thing with me, and again, this is just personal taste. If I'm going to wear an expensive watch, I like it to feel a little bit heavy. I don't like light, flimsy watches that cost $20,000. That just doesn't work for me. So if I spend a lot of money on a watch, I want it to feel weighty. I want it to feel hefty. And this watch has got heft in absolute bundles. It's a really heavy watch, and it's on a nice integrated leather strap with a sailcloth finish on the outer. And look, honestly guys, I loved it. I didn't want to put that watch down, and of course I wouldn't, because it's worth more than most of my belongings, so I wouldn't want to put it down, would I? But the great thing about that watch when I put it on was, again, it's nowhere near as big as the dimensions would suggest on paper, and it just feels like a gorgeous watch. The dial is okay, you know, I wouldn't go crazy about the dial. The complications are nice, you know, it's got a calendar and a day and a date indicator, of course. You know, nothing crazy about the actual movement complications themselves. They don't do anything for me, but the watch itself as a package, as a whole, that platinum watch, really superb. Really enjoyed that. And so finally, of course, in the range, there's also a gold version. It's like a two-tone gold. Now, I didn't actually try that particular watch on. We didn't quite get there. I was too busy sipping my coffee that they'd made me. I was treated very, very well. And despite the fact that I'm a pleb and a minion and I can't afford the watch, they still went to the trouble to show me the watch. They allowed me to try it on. They were very happy for me to shoot video, take pictures, and they made me a nice coffee. So, you know, what more can you ask for? So the gold one I didn't try on because I looked at it and I thought, you know what, I know I'm going to love that watch, but my skin is far too lily white to suit that kind of watch. And I actually suggested that watch, you know, with the rose gold and the stainless, you know, it's suited to somebody who's maybe got a slightly deeper skin tone than my pinky white kind of Northern European tone. So I didn't try it on because I knew it wouldn't really. I probably would feel really, really jealous actually of people that have got the right skin tone for that kind of watch. But I did enjoy, generally speaking, guys, I absolutely loved looking at these three watches. And to finish off, despite the fact I can't afford it, I wouldn't buy it anyway, even if I could, and despite the fact I hate the name, and despite the fact that as far as Patek Philippe are concerned, I'm a pleb and a minion, and my opinion doesn't really matter, I still think the moral of this story is, don't knock it till you've tried it. It's actually quite a good watch, and my understanding is there will be quite a lot more of the Cubitus range released over the next few years. There's a plan to release more models, more colours, more complications. So if you don't like the Cubitus, if you don't like it, I'm really sorry, but you're going to have to get used to it because it's going to be around for a very, very long time.